Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, you can now. I'll shout as well. A very good afternoon to welcome to Drakestone House. On behalf of Henry and his family and Zara and her family, a very warm welcome to their special day. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Alex. I'm delighted to be here as their MC for today. So if you need anything throughout the day, you can speak to me. You can speak to a member of the family or the groomsmen, who will be more than happy to assist. So we're now going to kick off the speeches, and beautiful day for it, in the sunshine, outside, gorgeous. So we're going to start off and introduce the mother of the bride to Sharon.
Shut up!
There we are.
I'm not going to use the mic unless you stand it next to me. Do you want to stand next to me and hold it?
I'll stand this side.
You can put it in front of me because I can't use it.
Do you want me to hold it too?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
So, can you hear me? Hello? No, you can't. They can't hear.
Closer?
No. I'm just going to shout. So, first of all, I just want to say a massive welcome to everyone. Alex has already done a great job of that. And also, I just want to explain, I've got sunglasses on because they're prescription and I can't see without them. Okay. So, to the serious stuff then. First of all, I'd like to say what a privilege it is to be here greeting everyone today to celebrate the wedding of Zara and Henry. And I think you have to agree, what a fantastic day it's been so far. I'd like to personally thank everyone who's made today possible for supporting such a fantastic couple, because there's been lots of different people supporting in the background, so thank you. So as I look around the room, I can see many faces who Zara has known from various phases in her life. Some of them since she was born, primary school, friends, family from Colston's, university, her work life, and I'd like to welcome you all. I think there's one thing that everyone who knows Zara will agree, and that is that she really is a ray of sunshine who brightens up every room. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Zara if you don't know her, or if you know already. Zara arrived in true Bridget Jones fashion. If you know Zara, you'll know what that connection is. As an emergency C-section, and from that moment on, she's brought lots of joys to our lives. From an early age, Zara had to be in the middle of whatever was going on. And when Olivia arrived, she was only 1 foot behind her sister, copying her every move. Zara's been very lucky and had 2 very special people in her life, Roy and Diane, her grandparents, who have spent a lot of time with her, and also an awful lot of time when she was little and growing up. They often used to take Zara out with them, and they were always eager to report back what they had been up to. There's one particular story which springs to mind, which was a very normal outing, I believe, to the Mall. Grandma wanted a new bed, and they were looking around John Lewis with Zara, a small toddler, and a shop assistant stopped them and distracted them. But Zara was off, springing from bed to bed like Tigger. I got reported back, and I'm sure that her granddad had a little smirk on his face when he told me. I believe there's been a more recent trip to the Mall with Zara and her granddad, where they sent through numerous photos to me wearing ridiculous hats. I wonder where she gets it from. So, Zara and Olivia have been lucky enough to go on holiday often with their family, and they've been lucky enough to go off to skiing in Scotland and Florida, and also with their cousin Daniel when he arrived on the scene. Likewise, he's always tried to be in on the scene and copied his cousins and not been very far behind them in the middle of everything. Now, Zara has a huge love in her life, and sorry, Henry, it's not you. We're talking about Ralph, but Ralph was not Zara's first fluffy or canine friend. Zara's first best friend was actually Harvey, our golden retriever. And she was never far away from him, or he from Zara and Olivia. I have very fond memories of being at Milbury House in the garden with Zara and Olivia giggling as Harvey raced up and down, and Harvey would jump in and out of their Wendy house and race around the slide doing loop-the-loop. We should also mention at this point that she had a Shetland pony called Thumper, and of course the legend Buster Bertie Powell. So Henry, this may explain her love for Ralph, who is one on his own, I'm sure we'll all agree. If you haven't met Ralph yet, you'll know what I mean. So Zara has always been surrounded by her friends and enjoyed being a party animal. So I'm sure you'll know that she's had many parties, and I'm sure you'll agree that some of the favourite memories that we have are at Vine Cottage when we had great parties in the garden. Another thing people may not know about Zara is that she supported Arsenal Football Club. Much to her father's disgust, who supports Man United. Zara somehow managed to get her father to attend several matches and somehow took a people carrier of boys from her school with her too. She isn't quite a tomboy, in fact. Zara finished sixth form and left Colston's and went off to Plymouth Uni, I would say kicking and screaming at the time, where she met more lifetime friends, and one of them being Henry. Now, I've met lots of Zara's friends during this time, but I never met Henry, although his name was mentioned often. I eventually realised that this guy was something special when they were still together after university and they began their chosen work life. Spending time with them, it's easy to see their love for each other, and that Henry is in fact a very special guy. Only Zara, Bridget, can leave her car keys on the train home from London 1 week, and the following week her handbag. And only Henry would drive to collect her and take her to Newport to fetch them. Thank you, Henry. I am extremely proud of Zara and her commitment to her career and her success, and I am brimming with pride as she is today a beautiful bride. I'm sure you all agree. I just want to welcome Henry as he joins our family, and I want to thank you all for making and sharing a very special and very happy memory. And I wish Zara and Henry a lifetime of happiness. Thank you.
You did a brilliant job.
Oh, congrats.
Well done. You did brilliant.
Oh, God.
Well done. Could you show me your passport?
Oh, God. We're going technical now. We see the next generation.
I'm millennial.
Although it is my iPad. There we go.
I'm a millennial. I don't like this. I'm very nervous. Can you hear me? Yes. Are you sure? At the back. Okay, so about 6 weeks ago, Zara and I were driving along one day, and she kindly asked me if I wanted to do a short speech at the wedding today. Emphasis on the word short, so it is going to be short. So I was told, so Liv, I know what you're like, no freestyling or trying to heckle with the crowd. And I responded with, no problem, I'll sing a song about you in 5. And that was also declined. So here is my short speech for you all, and let's see if I can do the whole thing without crying, which I didn't do in the church today. When I started to think about what to write, the first thing I thought was about our relationship growing up, which hasn't really changed. Growing up, Zara has always had to be in charge, whether she was the one at the front when we were riding our bikes, in control of the TV, or sitting in the front seat of the car. The only way I was allowed to sit in the front was if I won a game of shotgun, but this rarely happened. Not forgetting the times at school when Zara was a prefect, or shall I say, perfect. And I was in year 11, which I thought was my peak stage of coolness. But I think that's now. There were numerous times where I skipped the lunch queue and Zara would send me straight to the back because she never broke the rules and I wasn't allowed to hang out with my friends. But the best time has to be, I was walking along to the common room one day with my shirt untucked, trying to be all trendy. Zara's walking along with our head of house, Mrs. Curry, looks at me and she went, tuck your shirt in. And they both gave each other a really smug little nod. And I went home and moaned about that for a very long time. Oh dear. Oh, Zara, you might be my bossy, older yet smaller sister. But you're also the best sister I could have asked for. Not just when we were growing up, but now. Ooh. When we were little, I would follow you everywhere, like Mum's just said, whether you liked it or not. And at 26, I still follow you everywhere, much to Henry's hatred. I third wheel with them on the sofa all the time. This could be for advice, to moan about something, to laugh about something, or just to have a quick 30-second chat about what we had for lunch. As Henry knows, Zara hates an awkward silence. I'm so proud of everything you've achieved in your life. That's your work life, your personal life, and with your choice in dogs. And because I couldn't mention Ralph today. I'm beyond proud to call you my sister. You might be 10 inches shorter than me, but I'll always look up to you. Where is it? And you couldn't have picked a better brother-in-law or bestie for me to have. Did you like your birthday card? Hashtag bestie. Henry's been a perfect addition to our family. He's always there to make me laugh. Sometimes it could be at him. But he's always there to help me out, whether that's choosing a television or on Marketplace. Or if I need advice, Henry's always there for me too. Although I can't believe I've lost our bet of me getting married before you, so I'll send you that £1,000 later. So here ends my short speech, as promised. I just want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Evans. I couldn't be happier or prouder of you both. Here's to continuing for you to share many more memories together, but this time as husband and wife. So everyone raise your glasses. I don't have one. Mum, you can have your iPad back now.
I got it. It's my turn already. Christ. Jesus Christ. Those who don't know me too well know that there's two things that I would choose not to do. It's public speaking and saying overwhelmingly nice things about people. So for my benefit more than anyone else, this isn't a long speech. I've got a couple of toasts, so please make sure you've got some champagne left. On behalf of Zara, we're absolutely delighted to welcome you all to our wedding. We really appreciate all the effort you've made just to be here to celebrate with us. A lot of you have travelled from far and wide, some have left behind their newborn babies, and a select few have surprised even to have made it, even if they're lost or late. Darian. He made it for the vows though, so that's the important bit. So thank you everyone, and I hope the free booze is worth it. At the same time, we have in our hearts and minds those who couldn't be with us today. For those who are not aware, this year I completed the Bath Half and Windsor Triathlon in memory of my grandfather, who passed away in 2016, who will always be with our thoughts and is with us in spirit today. So if you join me in the first toast to family and friends past and absent. The first and last parts of my speech are focused on my wife. You look absolutely unbelievable today. If you couldn't tell by my reaction in the church. I can't believe I've got to marry my best friend. We have a friendship that goes back 10 years and a relationship that goes back 7. But like all love stories, didn't start too well. Despite being close friends in our first and second years in Plymouth, obviously for Zara, absence made the heart grow fonder. And on our return from our year abroad, things quickly changed. During a routine night out, ending up in a regular end-of-night bar, Zara launched herself at me to give me the kiss he so desperately craved. At least that's how I remember it. In all honesty, the details of who kissed who aren't really that important. I'm so glad it happened and we get to spend the rest of our lives together. I could spend the next 10 minutes talking about Zara, but I should probably say a few thank yous. So I'll come back to Zara at the end, but in the meantime, please raise a glass to my beautiful wife, Zara. Sharon, where's Sharon? One of the first times I met Sharon was at James Tyson's birthday party in Alveston. I was wearing a brand new pair of Fred Perry white shoes. I knew what I was letting myself in for quite quickly when Sharon, much like Zara would do, dropped a glass of red wine all over my nice new shoes, almost before we even said hello. We call Zara Bridget Jones, but it's quite clear where it came from. I'm so lucky to have found someone as amazing as Zara, and I have you to thank for that. You've done such an amazing job raising Zara and Olivia, and it's a pleasure for me to join your family. Thank you for all the support you've given us over the years. You're such a kind and generous person, and it's clear how much you love your family. Your support for Zara in preparing Zara for today has also been amazing. I know she would have been 10 times more stressed about you. Special shout out at this point to Roy and Diane. You don't need me to say how important you are to Zara. Most of her dearest memories involve either you or Milbury House. We look forward to many happy times to come. Moving on to my parents. Where are they? Show yourselves over there. I know how excited you've both been about today. Watching your favourite son get married is a once in a lifetime experience. Your support, guidance and bonkers ideas have taken us all on quite a journey, and I wouldn't change a thing. You have made Zara part of the family from day one. For those that visited Rose and Vale will know that the welcome cement mixer shot was something to remember. For those that want to find out, you have to find my dad at the bar. I'm sure he'll be happy to show you later. We both value your guidance and love, and we know that we can always turn to you in a time of need. We look forward to drinking many a bottle of limoncello in the future. We have a small token of our appreciation that we'd like to give to both of our mums, which should be up here. If you could come forward, mums, wherever you are. I'll hold that.
Thank you very much. You're beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Here's your glass, Lars. Bridesmaids. I'm not going to stand here and name you all. I'll be here all day. You all look amazing, and thank you for keeping Zara so calm over the last couple of weeks. I was going to say you actually got Zara to the church on time, but you're about 11 minutes late by my watch, so scrap that. Each of you play a vital role in Zara's day-to-day life, without which both of our lives would be far poorer. I know that you'll both be there for Zara and I for many years to come, and we look forward to the beginning of this next chapter of our lives with you all by our side. Groomsmen, thanks for coming. Final thank you goes to Olivia and George. Final thank you must go to Olivia and George. It has felt at times you've been more stressed about the wedding than Zara and I. For George especially, like. But we really appreciate the commitment and effort you've both made. Although the stag and hen do's were very different affairs, a thoughtful hen do that incorporated many of the things that Zara loved, compared to 3 very memorable nights in Magaluf. Thank you both for setting up 2 great occasions. You're both very special humans, and we're very proud to have you both as brother and sister. I look forward to the highly anticipated tennis match. Zara.
Oh, I thought we were done.
Last page. We have so many happy memories, it's difficult to know where to start. From the time you declined my all expenses paid trip to New York to go to Alicante with your mates. Dancing on the tables at Winter Wonderland in London, to always finding a way to be late for the airport. As much as we stress each other out and annoy each other, I love every second of it and wouldn't change it for the world. You have 100% made me the person I am today. You've helped me become much more self-confident, supported me through a changing career, tell me off when I make an inappropriate or sarcastic joke at the wrong time, which is fairly regularly. We even have a fair compromise over the TV. Zara gets to watch Hollyoaks every weeknight. I get to watch sport the weekend. It works perfectly. You're beautiful both inside and out. You always find time for your friends and family and have an incredible ability to talk to anyone. Always inspire the people around you and have an amazing drive to succeed. You are my motivation. I'm so lucky to call you my wife. We're 2 peas in a pod, and it will always be you and me against the world. Never saying nice things again. Finally, how could I get through the speech without mentioning the most important character in our lives, our baby boy Ralph. Despite me being the one who walks him, feeds him, washes him after he's jumped in the mud, and get up early with him every day, you're still his favourite parent. He's completely changed our lives, and it has been the perfect addition to our family. Yeah! He actually asked me to pass on a few words himself. Woof woof. Woof woof. We both love you very much and cannot wait to get started with married life. Please raise a glass to my wife, Zara. I'm now going to pass you on to my brother and best man for a thrilling character reference, I'm sure. I'll come stand with you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, George.
Hiya. Tough crowd, right. Now I've heard the best way to reduce nerves is imagine the audience naked. However, I've just seen my parents, so we'll see how this goes. My name is George, I'm the best man, and Henry's my brother. Lucky for you, this gives me 28 years of material. Unlucky for Henry. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you an A to Z on a PowerPoint presentation on how much of a charming young man he is. Henry and I have always been very close, not just in age, but as brothers. Although we may have had our moments along the way, we've always looked out for one another and only ever wanted the best for one another. Growing up, Henry was well known as the loud one, the joker, very strong-willed, and a fussy eater. Sorry, mate.
That's right. You got it, mate.
When I say he was a fussy eater, he went through a phase from the ages of 2 to 5 years old. Also during this time, Henry had a mild obsession with all things Thomas. Thomas the Tank Engine and 101 Dalmatians. So much so on one occasion he refused to get out of his Thomas dressing gown and slippers to go to nursery. So my mother just thought, okay Henry, off you go. You'd be hard pressed to meet Henry without a Thomas toy in one hand and his favourite toy, Lucky, a Dalmatian, in the other. So I'd like to take this opportunity to reunite Henry with Lucky on such a pivotal day in his life.
You and I.
Okay, mate. Who's another one, brother? Who's another one son now, eh?
Oh, dear. This fucking dog.
As you may know, we both went to the same boarding school in Suffolk. Prior to joining the school, you had to do some sort of interview with the headmaster, where you'd be asked all sorts of questions about your interests and hobbies. So when a blue-eyed 10-year-old Henry went to meet the headmaster, he was asked, he asked, do you have lifeguards? He looked to the headmaster, to which the headmaster responded by confirming that yes, they do have lifeguards and how the school likes to train the years 11 and 12 students to become so. At the end of this little ploy, Henry stated that this was all well and good, however he was just looking out for his safety. Once a member of the school, one of the school highlights was the inter-house drama competition. where we each had to perform a 30-minute play in front of the rest of the school. Some houses took this really seriously, others did not. We were definitely in the latter group. Around this time there was an advert for a soft drink called Sprite, where there was a green goblin on a tabletop in a kebab shop. For some reason I can't quite recall, the year 12 students decided to write this into the script. Being the smallest in the year, again, Henry was cast to play the Sprite. On the night of the production, they painted him head to toe in green paint and wrapped a bedsheet round his midriff.
That is green tights on it,
Was it green tights? He was then placed behind the bar in this cowboy and Indian mock saloon bar thing, and the character came up and asked for a Sprite. At this point, Henry was picked up and put on top of the bar. The whole school fell about laughing, and it was Henry's moment. This little 11-year-old, almost through his first term at boarding school, had the entire school in tears. And now everyone knew who he was, but they didn't know him as Henry, they knew him as Sprite. And he never shook that nickname off. He was not that innocent at school. In the final year, yeah, we're going there. In the final year, you had mixed gender at a mixed gender boarding house, so all the year 13s were in the same house. There was also a licensed bar there. On a Saturday night, we used to get tipsy off the sight of a strongbow and have a disco. Henry had worked out by this point what girls were and was getting pretty good at charming them. However, on this one occasion, he managed to charm a young lady to the extent that they'd sneak off to the laundry room. Unbeknown to him, one of the teachers saw them trying to disappear and busted them to which Henry landed a week's suspension.
Too late now, Shaz.
After RHS, Henry went to Plymouth University, where he must have made a lasting impression on some of the people at Azars. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the majority of this part of his life. However, having been on the stag in May with a few of his mates that he made at uni, I've got no doubt that he was in good hands. For those that knew him at this point may remember his rather different dress sense. He regarded himself as a bit of a trendsetter, which usually consisted of deck shoes, an odd pair of very bold, snazzy rugby socks, baggy grey jogging bottoms, or some bold colour chinos, a polo top which was slightly too small, and his signature mop of hair which was almost an afro but not quite. Despite this, however, just like a chino wearing peacock, he dazzled Zara and and so began this match made in Evans. Since then, they've been there for each other every step of the way, managing to get through 2 years of long distance while Zara was in London and Henry was starting to work in hospitality. Supporting each other when life throws a little wobbly, like when Henry decided to change careers and Zara's accident. It is evident to everyone here that you both love each other very much, and although I wasn't around at the beginning of your relationship, I'm very much looking forward to watching you guys grow as a couple into married life. Who knows, maybe even a few additions along the way. And not in the four-legged form. Henry, I look back at growing up with you with great fondness. You may...
Go on, mate. You got this.
You may have been really annoying at times, and I've wanted to put you in a cupboard with the toys and only bring you out when I wanted to play with you. I may have pushed you out of a boat mid-race when we were sailing together. And I may have thrown a bucket at your head and given you that little scar. But nevertheless, you will always be my baby brother, and that will never change. Oh, sorry guys, almost there. Zara. You look amazing and you are amazing. Today has been so special. I hope it's been everything that you dreamed of and worth the several sleepless nights I'm sure you guys have had in the run-up. It's fantastic that you guys finally tied the knot. Having been sailing with Henry on a few occasions, I'm surprised he knew how.
Sorry, clever
It's great to be able to welcome you into the Evans family. You've become the sister that I never had. A special mention to both the Powell and the Evans families on your contribution to today. It means a lot to be part of this wonderful occasion. I'm sure we'll all agree that Drakestone is looking absolutely fabulous, and the church was a brilliant choice considering Zara's close family ties to it. Also, thank you to the beautiful bridesmaids. Liv, Tash, Georgie, Ash, Shona, Lucy, Harriet. You've all been there for Zara on this journey, which I'm sure means the world to her. So please join me in raising a glass to the happy couple, to Henry and Zara. Well done, mate. Cheers.
Alex.
So I got tearful.
You made me cry.